Welcome back to the Hongcheon Challenger 2024, where it's win or go home time for the 8 teams left in the field. We had an incredible day one yesterday with all of the action that you'd like. We had buzzer beaters, nail biters, crossovers, last-second eliminations. We have 8 teams left standing, and they are going to try to compete for 3 spots at the Chengdu Masters at the end of June 22nd and 23rd. These are your 8 teams left. Sangwon, Churches, Beijing, Utsunomiya, BREX, exit matching up with Adazi, Princeton, and Dusseldorf. LFDY will meet up, and then Utrecht and Zavkhan. SAINSCORE will end the quarterfinals. We're back at Torsup Park. We had to move indoors yesterday after a rain shower delayed the games just a tad bit, and we had to move inside. We are back outside now at the beautiful venue out here again in Torsup Park, Hongcheon, South Korea. The first challenger of the year, the first Masters tickets that can be gotten will be distributed today. There's 3 tickets to be had, so place 1, 2, and 3. We'll pick some up. As you can see, it's still a little bit windy outside. The crowd showed up. It's lovely. And it's at least the sun's out. There's Antonio Ralat. There's your leading scorer out of day one, and his team, Juan, will start us off with the first quarterfinal of the day. Now, again, we're back to windy conditions, so we'll see how that affects the games. We'll be with you all day here from Hongcheon with the first quarterfinal all the way through to the finals to see who will get those tickets. We will know who that is around 9:30 p.m. local time. But, hey, you know what? Let's get into these quarterfinals. I'm the Mountain, Boz Rosendahl, and I'll be your host for today. Hit us up at FIBA 3x3 to see all of the action. And here's Team Sangwon. They ran through the pool yesterday. Beat Zavkhan 21-9. Ralat had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and then took care of Sagamihara 21-10. Adriano Casio, Leandro Allende, and Luis Quascut round out the roster. And again, Ralat tops the field in scoring, highlights, player value. They have the fewest points allowed per game as a team. Quascut, a nice second score at 6.5 points per game, and the pick and roll action was deadly yesterday. They're facing Team Beijing, who squeaked through pool play. Lost to Utrecht to start the day in a narrow victory over Nunawading CLB Exa. And they needed a Han Yu-Guo buzzer beater to get the win, and then Utrecht to beat Nunawading to get their place here in the quarterfinals. But you better be sure they want that ticket to the Chengdu Masters in China. Team Beijing, Yanlang Zhang, Han Yu-Guo, Peng Yang, and Song Wei-Zhu, who's their leading scorer, 6.5 points per game. And this team has been Game of Thrones, the North, ice cold from beyond the 2-point arc. Only 3 2-point shots made in the entire tournament. They're going to need some more of that to be able to beat this hot Sangwon team, again, who's been in the region active. These are your referees for this one: Vladimir Veskovic, Alex Talisaina representing Serbia and Estonia. And we are about to get underway in Hongcheon. Who will pick up those Chengdu Masters tickets and who will go home? It is show up or show yourself out here in Torsup Park as we are about to get the first quarterfinal away. For those of you that tuned in today and didn't watch anything yesterday, we started with 2 qualifying draw pools, went through main pool play. Sangwon Church is coming out of Pool A. They are your first ranked team out here in Hongcheon. Beijing coming out of Pool C as a 3rd ranked. They only squeaked by in pool play, again coming in 2nd after a young and upstart Utrecht team. So Beijing is looking to up the ante from yesterday. And they are going to need some physicality. They're going to need some 2-point shots to fall. But again, it is slightly windy. So we'll see. We are about to get this first 10-minute sprint underway, though. Here we go. Sangwon Churches coming through with a Ralat shot to start the day. No make. Now it's Quascut on the drive. Righty hook, no good. And a rebound for Yan Peng. Whoa, stepping back. No make, he's got a little hitch in his shot. Now it's Ocasio underneath, big bully ball, there you go. First points on the board, Sang-won. Zhu answers right away. And some screening action, but Ocasio said, I'll take that myself. That is cash money. So Sang-won looking sharp. Same as yesterday. Whoa. And a foul on the screen. We've seen Team Beijing run that high post action for Guo to go to his left hand. That's his favorite hand. He likes to create some contact off of the dribble. And here we go again. The same action. This time Zhu takes it himself. Scoop shot, no good, but a foul's called on Team Sang-won Churches, the team playing in yellow. Again, they featured last week and the full of last week. They featured on 2 tournaments out in Utsunomiya, Japan. The World Tour opener, as well as OQT #2, the Olympic qualification tournament that was held out in Japan. Didn't manage to pick up a ticket, so right after this tournament, they will fly out to Debrecen, Hungary, where they'll try to compete for one of the last 3 tickets left to the Paris Olympics that will be held later on this year. Kwasku, lefty, gets it to go down. No 2-point makes for either team so far in the game. It's been 1-point shots underneath, especially with Kwasku leading the way like this. If he's finishing at a high clip, bodes well for Sang-won Churches. Guo. Whistle on the play. Take a look again as Kwasku comes open. This was what was working yesterday. Pick and roll game. Kwasku cut into the hoop. And a good finish inside. 4-3. Ocasio's open in the corner. Puts it up, and ball back in possession for Beijing. We'll get a Guo 2. Hustle for the rebound. And it looks like there might be a little bit of discomfort on the landing there. But I think everybody's up and moving again. Kwasku again smikes it down with 2 hands. And he's been on point like a sharpened pencil. Getting to his spots. Guo now tries to answer. Easy lay. But Arlat's wide open in the corner. Bang, bang. Foot on the line, though, so that counts as 1. Take a look at the rear screen from Kwasku and then to Yami. But a lot with the turnaround. That's no good. And it's Yang inside. And both teams are trying to find space underneath the basket to get their scores in. It's 5-5. Now is Antonio Arlat trying to change that. Lotto with the 2. 7-5. Big shot. But that's what we know, Antonio Arlat. Zhang with the answer again. Now it's Ocasio bumping, but nothing there. Saves the ball from going out of bounds. Back to Ocasio. Ocasio sizing up Zhang. Tried to kick it to Ralat, who gets another 2 lined up, but that comes up begging. And a strong take as Songwei Zhu finishes contact. Up and the bucket. Tying up the game at 7 with an opportunity to add 1 to his tally. We've gotten to the first TV timeout. Both teams have been active underneath the basket. Juan, they got a 2-point shot to go down, courtesy of Antonio Ralat. There he is, the leading scorer on day 1 at 20 points coming out of pool plays. That's 10 points per game. Again, led the field in player value, highlights, and points scored. And Zhu gets the free throw to go down. So a slight lead for Team Beijing. Ralat on the drive. Kwaskut. And Ralat there to pick that one up, and that's going to cost Team Beijing a free throw here. The shortest man on the court, Ralat, getting the offensive rebound and was fouled on the putback. And Ralat knocks it down. So it's an 8-8 game after 3.5 minutes of play. Both teams, again, very active underneath the basket, looking to score at the rim. Whoa, gets stripped. Kwaskut to Ralat. Kwaskut gets it back, and again, a cut from Kwaskut right through the defense. He's slicing him up. Zhu answers right away. So Beijing sticking close. Ralat sizing him up. Ralat looking for space, can't find any, so kicks it out. Ocasio, a miss. And almost an offensive rebound. Ralat did get his hands on there. Take a look again. Kwaskut, a pick and roll game working to perfection. Team Beijing is playing drop coverage, but it's not helping when Kwaskut cuts through all of their defensive options just like that. Whoa, step him back. Whoa. Oh, no. 9-9. Now it's Allende. And Ralat, an open shot because Team Beijing is playing help side defense. They're drawn into the paint closer to the basket, and they're leaving kick-out shooters wide open, which I don't really understand. Again, Antonio Ralat, just a really good shooter. He's wide open here as Yan Pang just leaves him to try and see if he can disrupt the defense, play some disruptive defense in the paint. Kwaskut again. And he's been on the glass like a bartender. Ralat on the drive, kick out, another open shot for Juan. relentless attack into rack. Crafty with the finishing too. So again, Team Beijing sticking within 2 points. Ralat looking to change things. Wide open, but you know, you can't hit every shot. Take a look again at the scoop shot, the scoop-de-doo for Adrian Ocasio. News coming out of the camps for the teams yesterday is that there was a stomach virus going around. That's why Ocasio didn't play in their first game of the day yesterday. We saw some players miss games. Thought that might have been because of injury, but again, a stomach virus going around with the teams now. They are out here competing for sure. But that might affect play a tad bit. These things happen when you go on the road. Whoa. Launching from 2, no make. Ralat coming away with the board. They go back to Kwasku. Ocasio mid-it. Good. 16-13. A screen for Guo. Taking the contact with the lay, and Beijing answers every time. They're still down in the game, though, 16-14. Now it's Ocasio on the block. Looking for Ralat again. Ralat with all the speed and the scoop-de-doop, no make, but look who's there. Johnny on the spot, Luis Kwasku. And this, take a look again. Ralat barely misses that one, but the 6th or 7th offensive rebound, apologies, 7th offensive rebound by Kwasku. Who's just mashing on the boards. And a 2-point shot for Beijing just fully absent. They are not hitting any shots from the outside. And this team, Juan, just keeps on cooking. Somebody give me heads ups on what Puerto Rican dishes are, because they're cooking up something special. Then Ocasio inside, and Juan is running away with this one, 19-14. Beijing need an answer, and they need it now. Guo at 1 point. They're still down 4. Ocasio again, this time shares it with Allende off the glass, no make, but again, Kwasku with the board. Can't put it down though, so 19-15. Beijing are in need of answers if they want to stay alive and have an opportunity at their hometown, or not hometown, but home country Masters in Chengdu at the end of June. Guo to Zhu, another alley-oop, feather soft touch, 19-16. Now Beijing needs a stop. Oh, Ocasio lost to Wilson, and Kwasku wants to end things. No, not yet. 19-16 it stays. Zhu. Zhang just mishandles that one. Too much butter on his toast this morning. Slippery hands. That Wilson goes out of bounds. Take a look again. A second alley-oop play, and Zhu having the poise to finish midair. Soft touch off the glass. So 1:32 left in this one, and Juan in control. A 2-point shot will end the game for them. Beijing needs some answers, and they need them now. Curious to see what they can cook up in this timeout. If they can come out with a play to get somebody a 2. Songwei Zhu, their best 2-point shooter, has not attempted a 2-point shot at all in the game. He's been strong finishing inside, but a 3-point deficit at this stage of the game, you might want to get some shots up from long range. They need to stop first, though, but they leave Ralat wide open. Ralat wants to end it. Guo stepping back. He is wide open. Guo gets it to go down, 19-18. And Guo needs a sub. He's tired. But he gets his team the bucket they needed. First 2-point make of the game for Team Beijing. And a 1-point difference in the game. And now a delay of game technical called. So Zhu with an opportunity to tie. So it's 19-19. And that might prove a costly technical on Team San Juan, as the score's tied and both teams can end the game with a 2-point shot. Kwasku on the drive, nothing there. Ocasio finishing, but nothing underneath the basket. And now it's a long shot by Guo. Both teams looking to finish things quickly here. San Juan leaving the door wide open, though, with an open shot for Guo and then a technical foul called, so a free throw to get. Now the score is tied. Which team can come through here and move on to the semifinals? Kwaskud on the drive. In between all of the long arms, Guo and Ju couldn't stop him from scoring 20-19. But look, game isn't over. Guo, a two-point shot will end things. Guo launches one off the glass, but no good. The score will end things here, and it is Adriano Ocasio who says, oh no, and ends Team Beijing. Their hopes at the Chengdu Masters are down the drain after that spinning shot by Ocasio, a 21-19 victory. Team San Juan's moving on to the semifinals. And we'll say goodbye to Team Beijing, who put up a fight, especially down the stretch with a three-point comeback. Made it a tight game, had a shot at the win, couldn't get it to go down, and now they're out. Take a look at the highlights in this one. We'll be right back with the second quarterfinal of the day out here in Hongcheon.
저희 3x3에서 마련한 여러분들 목마르실까봐 저희가 음료수를 준비했습니다. 네, 근데 음료수를 그냥 드릴 수는 없고, 네, 저희가 음악 퀴즈를 낼게요. 저희 저쪽을 보시면 DJ 킨더가든과 DJ 흥부가 이번에 경기에 음악을 틀고 계시거든요. 그러니까 여러분 음악 한 첫 구절을 들려드릴 테니까 손 들고 맞추신 분께 저희가 음료수 6개씩 드릴게요. 아시겠어요? 아시겠어요? 네, 이 정도 호응이면 안 할래요, 그냥. 네. 아시겠어요? 알겠습니다. 여러분, 첫 번째 곡. 뮤직 스타트. 저기 힌트 입으신 분. 네? 깡이요? 이분이 먼저 깡 얘기했는데. 맞는지 아닌지. 뮤직 스타트! 네, 맞습니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 자리에 와서 댄스 한번. 깡대고 있는 댄스. Show me what you got. Let's go, let's go. Yeah. 네, 너무 소심한 댄스였지만 인정해드릴게요. 네, 저기 음료수 드리고요. 이번에 이쪽에서 제가 픽했으니까 지금 반대쪽, 네, 반대쪽 한번. 네, 인원이 없는 관계로 이쪽이 더 많으시네. 네, 일단 두 번째 음악 시작하겠습니다. 뮤직 스타트! 네, 지금 갔는데 들리셨어요? 모르세요? 지금 플레이가 됐는데 다시 뮤직 스타트! 정답! 사회자님, 근데 저기 여성분이 먼저 두 분 가위바위보. 네, 저희 두 분 가위바위보. 이기셨어요. 네. 한번 일단 정답은 오케이. 21 내가 제일 잘 나와 이효리의 10미닛 중에서 누가 맞았는지 확인. 라트비아의 아다지의 팀 경기가 있겠습니다. 먼저 선수 입장 1번 팀 우츠노미야 팀부터 시작하겠습니다. 우츠노미야 First player number 3 나가리스.
We got Utsunomiya, BREX, XE coming out first. They had themselves a day yesterday, 2 victories for the Japanese side as they took care of Dusseldorf LFDY late in a 21-18 victory and then stomped out Team Seoul 22-3. This man has been a revelation on the pro circuit so far this season. Theodor Atanashov coming of age out here. He's at 9.5 points per game in Hongcheon through 2 games, 85% from inside the arc. He's joined by Petar Sukur, Yosuke Saito, and Yuki Nakanishi. And these 4 fellas represent well. So we are ready to get things started in this 10-minute sprint. And Utsunomiya, BREX, XE, and Adazi lacing them up. Adazi starting out with a screen. Chavars, Strelnex a 2-point shot. That's the first one to go down. Adazi coming out hot. Utsunomiya at the hands of Tupac Sukur. A lot play for Nakanishi is broken up. Strelnex, another try. And this time it's sails out of bounds. So Team Adazi again taking 60% of their 2-point shots, or of their shots from beyond the 2-point arc. 60% of their shots total come from beyond the 2-point arc. They made 9-31 on their games in pool play. Atanashov stopped underneath. I like the matchup between him and Chavars, as Atanashov won't be able to establish position as easy as he was doing yesterday, so he's going to have to rely on craftiness. Chavars is a wide human being. Take a look. Both men in discussion. Adazi up 3-0 though. Saito. Yosuke Saito to Sukur, and it's 3-2. Elksnish sneaks by. And a steal, Strelnex out to Elksnish. Elksnish again, this time a floaty, no good. And it's Theodor with the tail board. Saito. Looking great. Now it's Sukur again from 2. And Utsunomiya, well, they get possession back here. That helps. Rumbling and bubbling is Chavars, laying it up and off the glass. Another high post set for the Japanese team. They try to get Atanashov open on a rub screen. It works perfectly. As Chavars is out of the game, they go right to him. Way to recognize the mismatches. Strelnieks give and go. No good. Broken up. So now it's Elksnis. Elksnis lobs it up. Strelnieks. Almost got that to go down. That was close. Now Atanashov. And he gets a hug from Strelnieks after that foul. So good recognition by Utsunomiya. As soon as Kristaps Chavars stepped out of the game, and he's back in the game now, but as soon as he stepped out of the game, they went right to their big fella, Atanashov. Saito to Atanashov, back out to Saito, to Atanashov again. The give and go action working as Atanashov continues his strong play out here in Hongcheon. Finishing inside again and again. We saw him line up a bunch of two-point shots last year as well. He's a great shooter. He's got good touch, but I haven't seen him shoot it from beyond the arc in this tournament so far. Has not made one yet. Chavars, a handoff. Elksnis. Beautiful crafted play, but resulting in out of bounds. Saito, who actually had a very good day yesterday. Passing it into Atanashov here, flipped it up. Atanashov takes the contact and gets it to go down. The bump and the bucket for the big serve. Here, the shuffle pass somehow gets it back. Soft touch off the glass. But I was saying, Saito had himself a day yesterday. 7.5 points per game, 6 of 9 from 2. So Yosuke Saito, a good compliment to Atanashov, but hey, look, don't count out this Adazi squad. They can shoot. Their tactic is to get a bunch of two-point shots up, and it's 7-6. A strip, Strelnieks to Chavars, Chavars to Elksnis. Slip and slide. Chavars kicks it out. Strelnieks is open, launches one, but back rims it. Saito, I was saying he's a good shooter, but doesn't put this two down the nets. Chavars lines one up. Oh, wow. Kristaps Chavars, another two-point make for Adazi. They got a lead here, 9-6. Atanashov going away from the post up against Chavars. A shot from Saito is left short. Now Strelnieks lines one up quickly. No make. And Wilson's out of bounds. Who is it out on? We'll see in just a second, but take a look again. Kristaps Chavars showing some nice touch on that shot. A 9-6 game at the first TV timeout, and Utsunomiya have gotten what they wanted in spurts, but the hot shooting for Adazi is what's giving them some trouble. Adazi is just chucking up two-point shots left and right. Hey, but if you make enough of them, it's a high-variance game, but they have made enough of them now to have a three-point lead. And they're taking advantage of Team Utsunomiya's deficiencies on the defensive end. And with deficiencies, I mean that Atanashov has the tendency to stick in the paint, which is logical for a big guy, but it does leave shooters open. Miscommunication, but a foul called as Suku couldn't get away from Strelnieks, who held him up. That's foul number 4 on the Latvians. Saito. Saito used his speed. No play. Get out of position in the end one. That's stronger than Camembert Cheese Mill. He finished through the contact, put it up, and off the glass. Petar Sukur. I know it's Sukur, but I like calling him Sukur because it rhymes, or it doesn't rhyme, but it fits with Tupac. Tupac Sukur. Petar Sukur. Strelnex is open. That's a push shot, but he manages to get that one down. Quick release. And it's 8-11, but bully ball inside as Atanashov has stepped back on the half court. Osiz, we haven't seen a lot of him today. Physical play against Saito. European bronze medalist in 2023 is new and young in this game. Not new, but look, he's a young fella. Played the Nations Leagues. He has a medal on his belt yet. Oh, Kristaps Chavars just, that first shot must have done something for his confidence because he's lining them up now. Sukur, no make. Osiz now. Osiz gets held up by Atanashov. That is a take foul. He didn't want the drive, so third foul on Team Utsunomiya. BREX exit. And Martis Osiz will take a seat between the lines for Adazi now. Elksnis, Strelnex, and Chavars. Their phase in Naganishi, Atanashov, and Sutur. Chavars runs into a brick wall. It's a large man you're trying to post up. Sutur. And Utsunomiya is just not finding the stroke from the outside. They are scoring well inside the two-point arc. They're just not getting up good looks from long range. Most of their shots are contested, and they're not going down. So a lead for the Latvians. And they get a block here. Strelnex can't get it off, and that's a shot block violation. And Sutur fired up. Screams any harder, his hair might start turning yellow. That's a Dragon Ball Z joke for y'all. I mean, you know, for whoever watched that back in the days. I know I did. Anyway, Sutur, 11-10, bringing the fire. And Osiz again fouled on his way to the cup. Chavars again, a shot from long range. Adazi is just trying to outshoot this team Utsunomiya. So it's a tied game. We got 4:11 left on the clock. 11-11. It's been the hot outside shooting for Adazi and Utsunomiya. They've gotten what they wanted on drives to the basket and takes like this. Sutur puts his team up by one. Osiz now looking for space, can't find it, and Strelnex just leaves that out of bounds, and again fired up is Sutur. Utsunomiya really looking to take care of this game. Second TV timeout. So Utsunomiya again have had one two-point shot fall for them, but it's mainly the inside scoring that's been working for them. They're fighting underneath the basket, and it's not just Atanashov. It's Sutur as well on his way to the cup. Came back into this game, looked like they've grabbed some momentum. 12-11. That Dragon Ball Z scream by Sutur might have helped just a little bit. Thank you for the people that let me know that they understood that reference. Suture now. Again, driving at the rack, and again making lefty lays good, 13-11. And Suture is hot. Scored the last 4 points for Team Utsunomiya to get them back into this game. And is fired up. Taking the contact here and finishing through it. I don't know if you want to call shooters bounds on the layup. Teodor Atanashov now. Again, he's a good shooter, but no making. Wow, look at the hustle. Suture is everywhere.
다시 아다시의 공격이 시작됩니다. 2점차. 자, 다시 스코시지. 그대로 2포인트.
Oses and the 2-point shooting for Adazi is better than Beef Bulgogi. My goodness.
결과들은 진짜 잘해요. Let's go.
Nakanishi. No answer for the Japanese. 13-13. They're trying to stick with Oses. Oses, no space. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Chavars has to make something happen. Loses the ball. Oses knuckleballs it up there. No make. Rebound to Elksnis, though. Another possession here for Adazi. Who get the pick and roll combination with Elksnis and Chavars, and that results in an easy lay. Can Saito answer? Wow. Shooter's bounce, if I've ever seen one. That took all of the rim and the backboard to go down. It's 15-14, and a foul called off the ball. So Utsunomiya taking everything Adazi has thrown at them and still have a lead here. Oses try to draw a foul somehow. That's not a great save. Suture saved the ball, threw it at the opponent. Suture lines one up. Last 2 minutes of this second quarterfinal of the day out here in Hongcheon. Torisu Park stand up, and Atanashov, the bump and the bucket. Big shot by the big fella. Gets a lob pass, holds his man off, and takes all of the contact as Chavars just comes flying in and barrels him to the ground. But the big Serb delivering here with 2 minutes to go. Atanashov, leading scorer for his team through pool play. Gets the first of 2 free throws to go down, as this is an opportunity at a 3-point play. Again, Atanashov's at 9.5 points per game through 2 games in pool, and he's shown out and shown up here today in the quarters as well. And he's got his team at a 4-point lead right now. Sixth foul on the Japanese, who are also at the bonus now. Both teams will shoot free throws on the next foul. Elksnis. And Elksnis and Oses got a nice little combination going on that pick and roll. Nakanishi, Suture. They go to Saito. Saito with all the speed in the world. The answer has to come now for Adazi. They need a bucket. Elksnis under pressure. That goes down. Boy, they needed that one. 19-17. Utsunomiya could end things on a 2. Suture up to the drive. Adazi again, they need a quick bucket, and it's a shooting foul on Saito. Not a smart contest at all. Strelnex was falling away from the basket, turning into a 2-point shot, and Saito just contested and ran him over. Why? That's a forced shot if I ever seen one, and now Strelnex on the line for 2, knocks down the first one. 20-18. He could bring his team within a point. The veteran who played for Riga for so many years now has his own squad in Adazi. Second one is a miss. Short on the front rim. Saito tracks down the board. Suchur, pick and roll with Atanashov. Suchur on his way to the cup, but he gets blocked. Strelnieks. Strelnieks stopping Suchur from ending the game on a crucial block here. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Possession will remain with Utsunomiya, BREX, and now it's Saito, lines one up. Yosuke Saito misses. Oses to the basket, easy lay, 20-19. Which team finishes the game here? Suchur has space, they leave him open, dare him to shoot, he misses. That tactic's working. They dare him to shoot it again, and a offensive foul called on Atanashov, who tried to keep two players behind him. Utsunomiya not coming through here in crucial possessions in the game. Atanashov is trying to get some explanation from the referee. He said, both these guys were hanging on to me. This is what the referees call. Atanashov trying to keep two players behind him. An offensive foul, so it won't be any free throws, but it will be possession to Adazi, who could end the game if they manage to put up a two-point shot, something they've done well all game. Let's see what they cooked up in this timeout. They go with Strelnieks, Elksnish, and Chavars. A screen for Elksnish. He's open for the shot, lines it up, gets his own board. 5 seconds on the shot clock. They need a shot. It's Chavars. Sidestep. He chucks it up. Chavars misses. And that will be a shot clock violation. And a timeout called by the Japanese side. Utsunomiya, BREX exit get the stop they needed. 2 shots, no makes for Adazi at the game. Elksnish was open for one, got his own rebound, got it back to Chavars, who had to sidestep into a difficult shot. So now the Latvians, no shot at the game. They have to play defense. And Utsunomiya, any score, a 1 or a 2, will make sure that they move on to the semifinals and still have a shot at the tickets to the Chengdu Masters, the much coveted tickets to the Chengdu Masters out here in Hongcheon in Torsip Park. They go with Atanashov, Suchur, and Saito. Nakanishi on the bench. A screen for Saito, sidesteps, 2-point shot. Yosuke Saito, no, but Atanashov with a rebound, a miss underneath. No calls on the play, a lot of physical contact. Atanashov chases it down. Who's that out of bounds off? So Atanashov had a shot at it. A clear shot too, but missed the bunny. I have to say, there was some physical contact on the play, but no call for the referees, and it looks like Adazi is back in possession. A substitution for Utsunomiya, who sub out Saito and put Nakanishi on the ball. Nakanishi against Oses. Chavars, high post action for Strelnieks. Strelnieks open for the 2, falling away, no make. Suchur in possession. Looking for Atanashov, and they're not giving him any space. Suchur tries from 2, no make again. The Latvians back in possession. Oses creating some space and comes through with the lay. It's 20-20, and we will go to overtime. Marches Oses coming through big. What recognition by the young Latvian. He saw his team was down 1, didn't want to take another heave, and with 4 seconds, he decides to go on a drive, flips in the shot. It's a 20-20 game. And for those of you that don't watch a lot of 3x3, what happens now is overtime. And overtime means the clock is off. Now, the shot clock is still on, but the game clock is off. First team to score 2 points wins. That's it. That's the rules. Utsunomiya will start with the possession. They roll out the same squad that tried to finish it the last time. It's Saito, Atanashov, and Suchur against Chavars, Strelnieks, and Oses. Suchur lines up a 2, no make. The Latvians, they have an advantage here. They are the better 2-point shooting team. Oses, knuckleballs, and Oses off the glass. Marches Oses in overtime with the crazy buzzer beater. And Adazi is moving on to the semifinals. They stormed all the way back at the end of regulation. Marches Osis took care of the last 3 points for his team here. And he comes through with a big shot to put his team on and through to the semifinals. This might be considered an upset, but it happened nonetheless. Adazi moving on. Utsunomiya will scratch their heads after that one. They had plenty of opportunities to finish that game. They didn't manage to, and now they are left with a trip to Japan. Crazy quarterfinal number 2. We will move right on to the third quarterfinals of today from Torisu Park out here in Hongcheon, South Korea. And it is the hottest shooting team in the field stepping to the plate. Team Princeton looked amazing yesterday. They shot 15 out of 23 attempts from beyond the 2-point arc. For straight nuts. The best shooting value in pool play for these fellas. And they're coming out with Austin Butler, Damon Huffman, Henry Caruso, and new addition Riley Grigsby, who was really active yesterday. 9 for 11 from 6.5 points per game, and he was scoring from everywhere in the court. They're facing Team Dusseldorf, who picked up 1 win yesterday. Lost to Utsunomiya at the end of a tight game. Beat Team Seoul, the local squad here in Korea. They got a unicorn in Niklas Krupp. He leads the field in key assists. Florian Wendeler, this guy right here, led them in scoring at 6 points per game. And also leading them in rebounds per game. I know Basti Landgraf is out there somewhere looking proud. And it's Niklas Geske and Alan Boger rounding out the squad. They led the field in 1-point percentage. Almost shot 80% from the field inside of the arc. And this guy on the left here has to get going. Alan Boger, 1 for 7 on 2. He's a very capable shooter. And for this team to have a chance, they will need him to get hot, especially against this team, Princeton, that is just unconscious right now. They could not miss yesterday. Every shot they lined up went down. Both teams also having a little bit of trouble with the stomach virus that, again, has been going around with teams out here. Henry Caruso did not step on the court in the second game of the day for Princeton, but he is on the court now, so I'm sure he has recovered enough. And here we go, 10-minute sprint to the semifinals for Princeton and Dusseldorf LFDY. It's Krupp lining one up with the lefty. And that, well, let's just not talk about that one again. Grigsby getting things started for Princeton on the offensive end. Looking for a Huffman. The veteran led the team in scoring yesterday. And he gets the backdoor cut going with Caruso. This is what Team Princeton's known for. Dusseldorf looking at Wendler, their leading scorer, but he gets stripped. So again, Team Dusseldorf going inside early and often. Florian Wendler featured, and that led to 6 points per game for him. They only shot 6 for 23 from 2, though. So inside game working, outside game not as much. The Caruso. Caruso on the move, another backdoor cut, this time Austin Butler, and it goes out of bounds off of his leg. So these teams, again, coming out of Pool D and Pool B. Princeton reigning supreme in that Pool B. 2 victories, 42 points scored. But a 2-point shot for Boger. So this, again, is what Team Dusseldorf needs. Their ace, their shooter to get going. Grigsby on the other end, easy lay. Him and Butler got a nice little bit of chemistry going so far. And then whistle on the floor. It seems like might have stepped out of bounds. So Princeton back in possession. Austin Butler spinning and winning. Latrobe, PA, stand up. I'm sure Zaire Carrington and Craig Moore are out there watching somewhere. The two legends that used to feature on his team, Princeton. We might see him again this year. Who knows? We will see. But this is the new look for this team, Princeton, with Butler coming in out of Team Washington, D.C. last year, and Riley Grigsby stepping into 3x3 for the first time, but it's been working so far. They've looked incredible out here. Look at Boger with all the sauce. That is, well, curry sauce, I guess. My goodness. Boger. Caruso. Spins, fades, and Henry Caruso putting on a Caruso. Boger again, quick release, no make. So team in green, Princeton back in possession, and both teams are just driving relentlessly at the basket. Wow. 5-3 Princeton. Butler's just going at the hoop again. Look. It empowered him to take that kill shot forward. James up yesterday, he got the covers off of it. Dusseldorf go with the high post plays. Geske tries to get the Wendler, and a foul's called. That is foul number 1 on Princeton. And number 2, apologies. Dusseldorf. Let's go. Foul. Princeton foul. Dusseldorf 공격. Kropp, who led the field in key assists out of pool play, comes through with another one of those. A pretty pass to Wendler underneath, and then
So Dusseldorf, they have kept Princeton from shooting a lot of two-point shots, which was working for Team Princeton yesterday, but they've got Austin Butler going at the rack. And that's resulted in a 2-point lead. The pick and roll game for the Germans coming through in spurts. And it's interesting to see which one of these teams can keep up their energy the longest, as again, a stomach virus is going around in the player field. Both teams affected by that for sure. Grigsby off of a beautiful crafted play by Huffman, who set a screen for the big fella at the high post. 9-6. Huffman with the steal. Lines up another two, Huffman. He is unconscious. 11-6, Damon Huffman. And a blocking foul on the veteran. Boger. In and out on that 2-point shot. Dusseldorf looking at a 5-point deficit. They need some scoring, and they need it fast. Caruso fading, no, but Butler picks up the slack. Johnny on the spot, 12-6. Krupp turns it over. And Butler directing traffic. Looking at the Caruso screen. Caruso, mid-post jumper, no good. Rebound back to the Germans, who get Krupp wide open on a 2 that doesn't go down. They needed that one for sure. They got looking at a 6-point deficit. Boger tried to foul, but the referee wouldn't give it to him. A turnover, though. Butler. And hot potato here as both teams throw the ball to the other team. Again, a turnover by Grigsby. Now it's Boger. No, Geske with the board. Krupp another 2-point shot. And finally that goes down. That took about 6 possessions in 20 seconds? I don't know. Butler on the drive. Loses the Wilson. Krupp is open again, but Butler hustles back. So look at Krupp. Say 9-2. Wendler to Krupp. Back to Wendler, and this is what Dusseldorf is so good at. Pick and roll action to get wide open layups on miscommunications on defense, but their defense is not stopping the Caruso whatsoever. Geske gets blocked by Grigsby, but Grigsby pulled on his shoulder according to referee Talasainen. So a shooting foul here. And Niklas Geske will step to the free throw line. Geske, a veteran on this Dusseldorf squad. He didn't feature for them last year. He only played in German national team games. And misses the free throw here, so still a 2-possession game, 13-9. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. We're past the halfway mark in this one. Oh, the misdirection. He faked them all the way out to Narnia. Boger with the answer, though, 14-11. Game is slowing down a little bit. The frenetic pace for both teams proving to be a bit much in the conditions out here in Hongcheon. A miss by Grigsby. And a quick foul by Grigsby, so that is foul number 6 on the American side. As Boger used his girth to get space for the bucket there. So Dusseldorf have managed to keep within, well, 3 points after that miraculous Wendler layup. I don't know how he got that to go down. Princeton back at it. Caruso on the drive. looking to attack Geske. Caruso hanging in midair, hitting that midi. Krop, a sidestep. He faked him all the way out of his shoes, too. Caruso dropped, but Krop couldn't deliver. And now it's Caruso again, falling away. Wow. Bucket and the bump for Caruso, who's looking a lot more spry than yesterday. Take a look. It's a bump that goes off the glass and in, and a free throw coming up for Team Princeton. The second TV timeout here. And the men from the United States are in control, a 5-point lead for them, as their game plan has been working so far, and Dusseldorf have not knocked enough shots down to make it a close enough game.
Mid-range goal, Caruso gets up
Very uptake, it's 3-11. And that will just go out of bounds. Boger tried to get the referee to call a foul, but referee Alex Talisainen was right there and looked him straight in the eye and said, "No, thank you." So, back to Huffman. Huffman looking for space. We know he wants to take these twos. A rare miss by him, and then I think that might be the 7th foul on Team Princeton as Caruso trips up Krop. Both players going for it, and then Caruso runs into Krop. Unintentionally, obviously, but it is foul number 7. So Krop, 1 free throw knocked down, and Dusseldorf, they need their points now. Again, facing elimination, a 5-point deficit against the hottest shooting team in the tournament so far in Princeton. And these 2 points will be a welcome addition to their tally. 17-13, 2-possession game. Now it's Grigsby behind the back. That man's got some craftiness to him. I like Grigsby there. It's a nice addition to this Princeton squad. A shot-creating option that can get to the rack. Has a little bit of craftiness and shiftiness to him. Huffman looking to get anything going. Huffman on his way to the rack. A fake. Gets Wendler up in the air. And a free throw as a result. So again, a 5-point lead for this team Princeton, and an opportunity to make that 6. Caruso will take a seat. Next to him is Niklas Krop. And Dusseldorf, they just haven't been able to get their offense going in a way to stick with this team Princeton. Huffman misses the free throw though. But again, Boger can't hold his position. Huffman got at least a mitt on the Wilson there. Geske. Dusseldorf needs scoring, and they need it now. Who's going to step up and get them some buckets? Is it Boger? No, and the shot clock's running out. No awareness on the German side. He's talking to his bench and saying, tell me when the clock's down. I couldn't hear you. And that was clearly visible as they turn it over to Team Princeton, who can get closer to the end of the game here. I don't think we're going to make it through the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds before the game's over. Caruso misses, rebound Butler. Now it's Grigsby. Grigsby stepping back, a long 1-point shot, goes down. Riley Grigsby puts his team at 19. So Princeton on the doorstep of the semifinals, and Dusseldorf facing elimination. A timeout's called. Take a look again as Grigsby between the legs, steps back, doesn't get 2 feet behind the line, so a long 1-point attempt. It is 19-13 Princeton, who are looking extremely sharp in this game against Team Dusseldorf. Can Dusseldorf mount a comeback? They are going to need a lot of shots to go down, but they're not getting the space they need to get some good looks at the basket from beyond the arc. They go with Boger, Krop, and Geske. This is their best shooting lineup so far. Boger, enough space to get one up, but it doesn't go down. A rebound to Butler, and that's tapped out of bounds. Possession remains with Green. And here we go. A 2-point shot again will do it. And Caruso looking for Grigsby. Grigsby, can he end the game? Grigsby, no make. Driving at the basket, and another stop for Dusseldorf, I was going to say, but they didn't finish the possession with a rebound. So now they have to try to get a stop again, and Butler just up and over Krop. 20-14, and it's looking like Princeton is going to take this one. Boger wide open. They need this, and it's not going in, and it's Caruso now on his way to the rack, and he gets that to go down 21-14. Alex Caruso, the Caruso. He's laughing after that bucket, too. He just threw that up there, and somehow, some way that went in, and Princeton looking extremely sharp in this quarterfinal matchup with Dusseldorf. They take the victory 21-11, and we'll be moving on to the semifinals.
이것만 얘기하니까 제 오번 선수도 보여주고 싶었나 봅니다. 네, 네덜란드 원 with the rest. First player, number 4, Adazi.
So the last quarter final of the day is up here in Tourist Park in Hongcheon, China. It's Utrecht against Zavkhan, SAINSCORE Team Utrecht. There's your leading scorer they won. I mentioned it. I thought it was Antonio Ralat earlier. Some of the stats didn't process. Norbert Telissen was averaged 10.5 points per game. He had 21 points out of pool play, 8 points in a win over Beijing, and the second win of the day over Nuna Wadding. He had 13 points, 12 rebounds. He's joined by Jacopo Bertotti, Nesta Agassi, Dan van Tilburg, who was in the hospital yesterday, getting treatment for that stomach virus. So Let's hope he's okay. They're facing the Mongolians for Team Zavkhan SAINSCORE. They squeaked out of Pool A after a big loss to Team Songwon, 21-9, but then Hongcheon Bayar showed up in their game against Saga Mihara. He had 8 big points, and they managed to squeak by a 17-15 victory to put him in the quarterfinals here. He's joined by Tseremba Atareng Taiwan, Ganba Atanyamdor, and Bail Young, who I'm sure the local crowd is going to be cheering for, as he is a Korean addition to this Zavkhan SAINSCORE team. And an opportunity for them still to take on Utrecht and move on to the semifinals. Bail Young, the only Korean left in the tournament out here in Hongcheon. Referees in this one, there's Vladimir Veskovic and Yuyen Su. They'll be holding a clean game, and an interesting game to say the least, as Team Utrecht hasn't shot it all that well from beyond the 2-point arc. They were 6 for 20 in their game against the Aussies for Nuno Wadding. 4 big shots from beyond the arc for Norbert, but only 1 2-point make in their game against Beijing. And I have to say, Zavkhan isn't faring much better. And here we go. 10-minute sprint, the last quarterfinals on deck out here in Torsup Park. It's Eng Taiwan. Righty hook, no good. Rebound, Yamdor. He finishes underneath. First points on the board, Team Zavkhan. Norbert Telissen. First 2 up, not down, and the rebound gets saved inbound somehow. And there we go, a smash. Get you some butter with those smashed potatoes. 1-1. And Bayar, he got hot yesterday. Hit the first 2 twos in their victory over Sagamihara and Durama. And Adazi trying to attack him. Telissen again open for 2. Not a make. And a foul called on Team Utrecht. Daan van Tilborg back between the lines. Again, he didn't play in their second game of the day against Nuno Wadding due to the stomach virus that's been bothering the teams out here in Hongcheon. That happens sometimes in the tournament. But back between the lines now. Team supposedly is feeling much better. It's Eng Taiwan with the righty hook. And 0.7 seconds on the clock will remain for Zavkhan SAINSCORE to get up a shot. Actually, this is a fresh 12 for Team Utrecht. Agassi to Bertotti, who featured on Team Haarlem or Haarlem. Last year they played the Masters in Marseille. Him and Daan van Tilborg. This fella right here, who was amazing on day 1 in Marseille, on their way to the quarterfinals. He was in the top 5 in scoring in that Masters after day 1. They did end up losing the quarterfinals. They played with 3. Teammate Luc Slont got hurt in that one. He's still recovering from that injury, by the way. Well wishes to him. I'm sure he's watching somewhere. And it's 2-2. Bertotti on the drive. Switches hands, lays it up. It's 3-2. Utrecht takes a small lead. Pick and roll game, and there's a foul called on the play. Called up. That's where it was open. An offensive foul, second foul on Team Zavkhan. High post play again for the Dutch. Telissen on his way to the rack, scoops it up, and then Nesta Agassi. Enough patience to put that down. Bail Young. And a whistle on the floor. And the third foul on the Mongolians.
Let's go.
Plays broken up by Nyamdori. It's not saved in bounds, though.
네, 다시 공지 없는 우회로 했습니다. Okay, with the left, number one. 야코포 공 잡았습니다.
Jacopo Bertotti. Next to being on Team Arlimi, featured on the Nations Leagues, where he saw a lot of Zavkhan. Beautiful up fake. Nyamdori taking the spin class. And it's Jung finishing up the play. 5-3. Zavkhan sticking in this one, but they are using a lot of fouls to keep Team Utrecht away from their actions. That is number 4.
Okay, get ready.
Telice, double teamed, somehow gets it up and over. Nyamdori, so 6-3.
점수는 6대4.
Nyamdori underneath, lets that one slip away from him. So back to the Dutch, a high post play, Agassi on the attack. Another double team, he finds Telice, who tries a shot you rarely see in 3x3 and usually see in a game of horse. And that is horse on the basketball field, not what you do out there in Ulaanbaatar. Lovely city, by the way. I've ridden a horse there. Me and my former teammates took a field trip out into the country in Mongolia when we were out there playing in the Challenger, which was beautiful. But look, that's neither here nor there. 6-3 it stands after 3 minutes of play. Jung misfires that one. Rebound to the team in purple. A give-and-go action between Van Tilburg and Telice. And a warning for the Dutch squad. With defense in the key after a made bucket. That will get us to our first TV timeout. And Utrecht looking comfortable, a 7-3 lead. Zavkhan has not found the ability to score, but we know they can get hot. This is a team that all of a sudden can get a couple shots to go down and get their confidence up, especially Zavkhan, Bayar Zavkhan. But the Dutch are fired up. They are looking to get to the semifinals. And again, a chance for them at a ticket to the Chengdu Masters. Jung to Eng Taivon. There's Jung again. And now it's Bertotti on the drive, a righty scoop, and he is down. And Zavkhan takes advantage, 7-4, back within 3 points. And another, oh wow, Agassi. The play didn't continue, but Agassi thought he had an open dunk, so he brought out some of the jetpack. But hey, 6 foul on Team Zavkhan, who use another foul to keep the Dutch away from score. They are at the bonus. We still have 6 minutes to play. Telice, 3 seconds on the shot clock, has to take the shot falling away. So possession back to Team Zavkhan, SAINSCORE. High post action. They try to get Young open. Oh, but the trickery. Namdori. Enough patience to get that to go down. 7-5. Van Tilburg underneath. Broken up. Kicks it out to Bertotti. Bertotti mishandles the rock. A deep shot from Bertotti. So, beautiful play crafted here by Zavkhan SAINSCORE with the misdirection. It looked like they were getting Young the ball, and it ends up in a Namdori lay by Arsakhan, though. The Dutch aren't boxing out, and Zavkhan's taking advantage. Namdor underneath the basket is the only reliable option. Van Tilburg tries to answer, no good. Now it's by Arsakhan spinning away from the contact, going at the basket. A kick out's broken up by Van Tilburg. Out of bounds for the Mongolians. And it's 5.8 seconds left on the shot clock for them to be able to get anything going here. Heng Taiwan to Jung. Jung, contested shot, up and in, 7-8. Zavkhan takes the lead. They found some offense. I told you they can get hot. The Dutch turn it over again. Now it's Young underneath. 9-7. Pick and roll action. The Dutch haven't scored in a while here. It's Nesta Agassi, 2 points up and down, 9-9. He's a good shooter, 35% plus last year at low volume. But the 7th foul on the rebound is the Mongols are manhandling the Dutch, but the referees are having none of that. You can see Seren Baatar and Taiwan say, nah. But your referee says yes, and puts Team Utrecht on the stripe. Agassi doesn't take advantage of the first shot. So Nesta Agassi, a reset. And he gets it to go down. The lone surviving member of Team Utrecht from last year is so far in this tournament. I do believe they have Shea Adetunji waiting in the rafters. He's not here with the team right now. A 10-9 lead for the Dutch and a clear advantage when it comes to fouls, as we're just crossing the halfway mark in this game. High post action with a rub screen for Telissen. Now they get Bertotti open, a pick and roll going towards the basket. Bertotti righty scoop up and in. 2-point lead by Arsakhan, looking to answer, and gets fouled on the play. I'm just distracted by the Cherry 11s, I have to say. By Arsakhan's shoe game is on point, as Bertotti gets that one to go with a scoop of sauce. Namdori again, reigning supreme underneath. He gives up some in height, but he's very crafty underneath the basket. Agassi now playing one-on-one, and that, well.
Okay, let's play.
And another foul called on the Dutch. Holding up Bail Young. By Arsakhan, stepping sideways, but not making sideways. By Arsakhan, who has to be crafty, because he is giving up a little bit of size, especially against this tall Dutch squad. And by Arsakhan, the 24-year-old, hasn't hit a two-point shot just yet. That's what proved successful in their only win yesterday over Team Sagamihara and Durama to make it here to the quarterfinal. Both teams haven't been able to put a two-point shot in. Now, Daan van Tilburg with a try. Actually, Utrecht has one. Zavkhan has none though, but they do have this. A lot of layups. Nyamdori again wide open underneath the basket. Van Tilburg down on the block. Righty hook, no good. Rebound ends up with Van Tilburg, who finds Telissen underneath, hangs on for measure. Just checking if that rim's high enough. So Bertotti shading Young out of the play completely. Young still somehow gets that ball, and then a foul on a two-point attempt as Young gets ran over by Bertotti. And as a result, 2 free throws coming up for Zavkhan SAINSCORE. Young, the MVP at the Ulaanbaatar Super Quest, a tournament that was won by Zavkhan. Young, the same tactic that a lot of Korean players do. Out off the glass, okay. Switching up styles, 12-12. Telissen loses to Wilson on his way to the rack, gets it back, shot from the corner, a high arcing 2, no good. Rebound, Nyamdori, they get it back to Young. Nyamdori open again, but oh, I think the Wi-Fi went out. No connection on that pass. His Issa must not have loaded well. The Dutch back, and they go down to Van Tilburg again on the block. A double team, so Agassi on the drive, takes the contact, no make on the lay. And a foul's called on the play. Not sure who the foul's on though. Agassi jumps into the contact, no make, and I think it might be a foul on the Dutch. It is a high post play now for Zavkhan to continue play here. 7 seconds on the shot clock. What a pass! And he gets that up and over the, well, it looked like he might have gotten that up and over the backboard, but no way. So Utrecht at the bonus as well. A deadlock here, 12-12. We got 2:30 left on the clock. Which team will come out victorious and move on to the semifinals? Bertotti denying the screen. No make on that shot. As Zavkhan makes it difficult on the Dutch, they are playing a lot of help side. They're making the court smaller. Nyamdori makes underneath, breaks the deadlock. 13-12, Mongolians are up. Now Bertotti on his way to the cup. It's Telissen again with the make, and then I think he got fouled as well, but he grabs his leg as he comes down, so let's hope he's okay. Take a look again at this Nyamdori take. He's been the brightest spot in the Mongolian clear blue sky, and then Telissen comes in with the answer. An opportunity for 2 more from the stripe. Here's some boos from the crowd. Again, I think they're cheering on Team Zavkhan SAINSCORE here as they have a Korean member on their squad, Bill Young. Second attempt here for Telissen. Second one's a miss as well. He leaves 2 free throws on the board. Young lines up a 2, no make. Rebound back to Utrecht. They go with Agassi. He gets a pick and roll, finds Telissen on his way to the cup. Scoop-de-doop up and in, 14-13. Young looking to create some space, steps back. And a rebound, Nyamdori, and he just continues to wreak havoc underneath the boards against the taller Dutch squad. Telissen on the drive again, a double team coming. So now it's Agassi to Van Tilburg, a short fake for Van Tilburg and a righty lay. But not enough jelly on that one. Young opts not to take the shot. Bayar Savkhan on the drive. Also no make, and then A lot of physical contact on the play here. Referees are not blowing the whistle. So Van Tilburg, 4 seconds to go on the block. Spins back, righty make. Under a minute, a 1-point lead for the Dutch. No answer for Zavkhan. Now it's Thelissen, a two-man game with Van Tilburg, who rolls to the cup, but that pass is just a little bit long. Option was there, the acumen to get the pass there was not, but Van Tilburg here spinning into a winning bucket so far. 43 seconds on the clock. These teams are not giving each other anything in this game. Who's going to draw up something in this timeout? I know Zavkhan is going to come out with possession here. They need a bucket, and they need it badly. They are looking down the barrel of elimination. They go with Zavkhan, Eng Taevan, and Yamdori. Handoff play, now Eng Taevan. Zavkhan play, two-man game. Zavkhan dancing with Bertotti. Pulls it up, Eng Taevan underneath. Easy make, somehow controlled the Wilson on that one. 15-15, we're under 30 seconds to go. Bertotti wide open, steps into it too. Bertotti misses. Offensive rebound ends up in the hands of Thelissen. Thelissen, 18 seconds to go. And that goes off of his foot. Tight defense by Eng Taevan to force a turnover there. So crucial possession here for Team Zavkhan SAINSCORE. A screen for Eng Taevan. Back out by Zavkhan, launches one. Rebound Eng Taevan, no good. Rebound Bertotti. 5 seconds on the clock. There's Adazi underneath, and he finishes the job. 2 seconds on the clock. Can Zavkhan get anything going? It is out of time. And the Dutch prevail down the stretch. Somehow pulled this out. Bertotti finding Agassi underneath the basket with the last second make. We'll call this a buzzer beater. And Team Utrecht moving on to the semifinals. Zavkhan left scratching their heads. They were right in this game all the way down to the stretch. Zavkhan had a shot to win it. He missed. And then the Dutch came through with the victory. Take a look at the highlights in this one as we take some time before we start the semifinals. A short break in between games. And the second finals will start at 8:10 p.m. local time. So that will be in about, actually they start, never mind, at 12:45 Central European time, which means they start at 7:45 local time. That is in about 30 minutes. We'll be back with you for the semis. San Church is meeting up with Adazi, and Princeton meeting up with Team Utrecht on the Dutch end, who prevailed here down the stretch. We will see you live and there, 12:45 local time here in Hongcheon, Korea. Do not go anywhere.